this video is for you. You might be going to work, you might have a regular job, but one thing is for sure, you lack money. You are lacking money, or you're lacking some sort of financial discipline, and you feel like you can do something more. And you also feel like if you would just change something about you, things would be entirely different. This video, I'm going to explain to you how powerful your mindset is and how that can change your money, how that can change how much wealth and things that you attract inside of your life. Our mind is really powerful. Our mind has the power to create, and it has the power to destroy. It has the power to do so many things when you really think about it. Scientists say that a lot of our reality is determined purely by our subconscious thoughts. Subconscious being the things that we don't even know that we think about, the things that are deeply rooted inside of us. And a lot of these things come from childhood. You might have been brought up inside of an environment that taught you to think, feel, and act in a certain way that you now carry inside of adulthood. For me, example, I grew up inside of a household or an immigrant household, and I grew up inside of a regular school environment. Going to school, a lot of the things that I seen and a lot of the people I may have hanged around, especially when I was going to school inside of a certain area, was a lot less than when I went to high school. Inside of my preschool, a lot of people were around a certain income level. They had the same things, they acted the same way. I never really thought to think a little bit different. It wasn't until I got to high school where I went to a very private high school. And of course, when you go to private high school, people have more money and they're giving their kids better things. So when I got to high school, I saw kids driving around in very nice cars. I saw people with like more money. The income level was like very different, especially thinking about now. But one thing that did for me was unlock my mindset. More than just the courses and whatever the nonsense they taught me. It taught me that money really does come from a mind perspective. Because I talked to a lot of people at that school compared to where I was before. A lot of people's mindsets were a little bit different around money. The way people would talk about going on trips, talk about getting new things, talk about going to new places, it was a sense of freedom rather than limits. When you are inside of a poor environment, a lot of the times you have a lot of limiting beliefs. I wasn't poor, but when you are a little bit like lesser off than another person on a different level than you, your beliefs about life are going to be fundamentally different from theirs, and that's going to shape the things that are around you. Now, it might be the same inside of your life where you have certain beliefs that you don't know about. And that's why inside this video, I want to show you that. I want to show you your own self so that you can unlock your own mind and then start to think differently about your money. And then that will attract more money, more ideas, more everything onto you. Most finance people, most financial advisors will tell you how to save money, how to be better with your money, how to do all these things with your money. But they don't focus on the most important thing, which is you yourself. Because I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with, certain traders. I've worked with certain people in business. I've watched people all around. And one thing remains the same is that you will never go farther than your own belief. I've seen people literally, they can't do anything. They have the worst habits because of their own mindset. And that mindset, if they don't change it, nothing will change. And I've worked with people where I had something I was going to teach them trading. I was going to teach them how to invest. But literally, I couldn't because they wouldn't change their mindset. It's the craziest thing. So I realized myself mindset, it's so important. If you don't change it, nothing else is going to change. So going into how to change your actual mindset. Now that you've probably realize the problem after I've said it a whole bunch of times. Now that you've probably seen maybe your own patterns, your own beliefs stop you inside of your current lifestyle, how can we actually change our mind? How can we start investing inside of our mind and ourselves and developing ourselves so that we can start to receive these opportunities, so that we can start to think on a different income level, so that we can even elevate ourselves? Well, I call this my protocol, right? Call this my protocol. What you need to do, right? Think about when you were a child, when you were young. What did people used to tell you to do a lot of the times to get you to remember something? They'll tell you to repeat it. Repeat, 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 repeat. When you're trying to learn your ABCs, they'll repeat it into your mind until you remember it. So we know based off of science that the subconscious mind acts off of repetition. Repetition is more important than anything else when it comes to actually integrating something inside of your mindset. So what I do and what I did was I repeated. In the Bible, it says life and death lies in the tongue. It's the same thing inside of our lives. Life and death lies in our tongue. It's what we say to our own selves that becomes what we attract, what we have inside of our lifestyles. So what we say to ourselves repeatedly every single day matters so much. So repeat. If you want wealth, if you want ideas, if you want to be a bigger person, repeat it every single day and every single night before you go to sleep. The things that you want inside of your life, the things that you want to change. So, for example, don't just say, I want more money, but say, I want to be wealthy. I want to be financially secure. I want to be financially independent. I want to be good with money. I want to be better. Write these things down. And in the morning, say them to yourself. In the nighttime, say them. And the act of you doing that, you're going to see change inside of your lifestyle. But don't only do that. Feel it. Feel it. Feel the person who has all those things right now inside of this present moment. That's the most powerful thing. See, most people would just write it down. And I used to just write these things down too. But I noticed that when you feel the embodiment of the person that you are trying to become, the person with the money, the person at the different level, the person doing the things that you want to do, while you're saying them, you're feeling and embodying and envisioning what that person is like, what that person is feeling. I noticed that over time, you start to become like that person itself. And that's when things start to really change. Because the same thing that person is doing, it's not the same things that you're doing inside of this moment and the same habits that you have right now. And that is what actually changes your reality. Because 95 or a lot of the things that are happening to you with your money, you spending money, you going broke in debt, you spending money on credit, you not investing, you not being consistent in certain things. These habits are coming from the person you are right now. And you're not thinking at another level of the person that you want to be, who has already solved those problems and realized that they are actually financially abundant. So, if you guys do like this video, make sure to comment down below and I will definitely make more. I know that this video is probably not going to get the most views, but I know I'm talking to a very specific person who does want to elevate their lives and who does want help as well. So I'll see you guys next time and I hope you enjoyed.